Call the City of Apache Junction Council meeting of September 5th, 2023 to order and ask everyone to put their cell phones on silent. The invocation will be led by Councilman Peter Heck, the pledge by Councilmember Johnson.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for the privilege of being able to gather together this evening to discuss city business. We ask that you give the staff and council wisdom and clarity in its decision-making. We ask you to watch over those individuals who have had to endure the wildfires, particularly those in Maui. Please give them comfort and peace as they seek to rebuild and grieve over the loss of loved ones. We ask you to watch over the men and women who serve in our military the world over. Please keep them safe as well. We also ask for your blessing on our first responders, including our police and fire departments, along with our EMS personnel. Please keep these brave men and women safe in their duties to protect and care for the residents of this city. Thank you for the honor and privilege we have to serve the residents of this great city. These things we ask in your name. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mayor Wilson,
Here.
Vice Mayor Schroeder,
Present.
Councilmember Cross,
Here.
Councilmember Heck,
Here.
Councilmember Johnson,
Here.
Councilmember Nesser,
Present.
Councilmember Soller.
Here.
You have a quorum, Your Honor.
Thank you. Consent agenda. As a reminder, all items on the consent agenda will be approved with one motion. If a council member wishes to remove an item for further discussion, the request must be made prior to approval of the consent agenda and will be moved to new business. Do I have a motion for a consent agenda?
Your Honor,
Yes.
I move that the consent agenda be accepted and approved as presented.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Roll call.
Councilmember Soller,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Schroeder,
Yes.
Councilmember Nesser,
Yes.
Councilmember Cross,
Yes.
Councilmember Heck,
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson,
Yes.
Mayor Wilson.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Awards and presentation. I got one proclamation here, which will be presented to Kelly McDonald with the Daughters of the American Revolution. Excuse me. Whereas September 17th, 2023 marks the 236th anniversary of the drafting of the Constitution of the United States of America by the Constitutional Convention, and whereas it is fitting and proper to officially recognize this magnificent document and the anniversary of its creation, and whereas it is fitting and proper to officially recognize the patriotic celebration which will commemorate this occasion. Whereas Public Law 915 guarantees the issue of the proclamation each year by the President of the United States of America, designating September 17th through 23rd as Constitutional Week. Now, therefore, I, Chip Wilson, by virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor of the city of Apache Junction, do hereby proclaim the week of September 17th through the 23rd as Constitutional Week. Daughters, Kelly and Daughters of the American Revolution, like to come up?
Aren't they darling? Yeah.
Thank you, Mayor and Council.
I really appreciate this on behalf of the Daughters of the American Revolution, Apache Trail Chapter. We just appreciate your recognition of this important week in our history. Quick, take the picture, I'm out of words, yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Intergovernmental updates, regional intergovernmental meeting updates from the council.
Your Honor, this past week, all of us had an opportunity to attend a league conference, and with that, I'd like to defer it to you so you can share with everybody.
Okay. Well, we all attended the conference, and, well, first off, I was awarded the 16 years service and got a very nice plaque from them. This is the first time I got a plaque. Normally, it's a piece of paper. And it was very interesting this time. We were all down in Tucson, and we got to attend several sessions, some information that was good to get. Unfortunately, several times we had opportunities, well, yes, the flag, the kids presenting or carrying the flags carried forward at the leagues, starting off at the meeting. One of the things that was, you know, I'll say the sad thing is so many times there's two meetings going on, you want to be at both of them. Just have not figured out how to clone myself to be able to be at both of them. But it was interesting and came up with a couple ideas, and we're going to pursue a couple of them and seeing what we can do and help our community. It was also a great time to talk to other cities and seeing some of the problems they're facing and things that we need to do to, I'll say, avoid those same problems and pitfalls that they have been falling into. Anyone else have any comments about anything else either? Nope. Okay. Darrell, do you have anything?
No, just agree with you. It was a great conference, and we were able to learn a lot of different things, and we appreciate them putting on the conference for us.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot. You can go ahead and show the, yeah, there. One of the things at the end of it, they have, all the cities have their booths up and they give away different things from their cities. And Mr. Kelly came in and started going through, and I don't think he gathered anything that I saw anyway, but he was talking to people, and one of the things I had an opportunity to stand there and talk to him for a couple of minutes concerning our the week's wash and what we're needing to do and what we're needing the assistance from him. And he says, definitely keep me involved, and he says, and I'll be there to help. So it was successful in talking to him about that. All right. City Manager's report.
Thank you, Your Honor. Bryant Powell, City Manager. I just wanted to add a little bit of kind of percentage of what it is to be elected for 16 years and how remarkable that is. So if you consider 100 cities and towns in Arizona, approximately, 7 elected officials, approximately, that's about 700, gets our Mayor Wilson to be at 7 people. If you look at the plaques there's 7 of them that night that got that. Now, there were some that got 24, and there were some that I think went 30 years.
36.
Or
36
36
one.
years,
Yep.
which is you know, truly remarkable. He is 1% of all of it. So if you've ever wanted to be a 1%er, here's your chance.
Okay.
But it is a really, truly remarkable feat to get to this level where there's only 7 folks in the entire state that are elected for 16 years, and we thank you for your service. Week's wash. So we will be coming forward in the coming, probably more like months, to have staff provide an update on that. We have some news. Looks promising from the federal government on some of the efforts in terms of funding. We're working very hard on that project, and that's a major, major drainage project and a major drainage solution. I want to also congratulate the library on their most recent project. They have now updated their teen game room, teen book room, and now these new shelves that a few months ago in the budget you all passed and now they're in. Provides tremendous flexibility. It actually is already full in there now. And we just wanted to say thank you for that, and the staff are really excited about the flexibility and the ability to do the work that they do even better. It looks modern and looks like a really inviting space. There's some lighting that's gone in as well to update the castle and the kids area as well. Al, I'm not sure what you got on the next one.
That's it.
Okay, I just wanted to remind everybody in the community and our council that September 14th, ADOT, they recently had come here. There we go. Thank you. Thursday, September 14th, 5:30 to 7:30, Apache Junction Multi-Gen Recreation Center on North Idaho Road is another opportunity to interact and learn about a major infrastructure plan that is going through the planning process with ADOT and the federal highways. To orient the group here, it's basically on near and around Mountain View Road on the north, near that alignment. And it's in essence another major project that would bring and connect. The goal is to connect all the way to I-10 down to Coolidge. And our area, the north segment of the north-south freeway is going through another planning session. And as part of that process, they're going to be going to Post and Butte High School as well on September 12th. And then ADOT will be with us and encourage all community members to come and check it out. And that concludes my report, Your Honor. Al, do you have anything?
Good evening, everyone. Al Bravo, Public Information Officer for the City of Apache Junction. As the city manager mentioned, this is taking place on the 14th, and if you're looking for more information on that, you can always go, remember, to the city's homepage at apachejunction.az.gov. We have all the details on the two meetings they're holding next week, and then a virtual meeting that they will hold later in the month to try to include as many people as possible on this part of the process. A couple other things that you should be aware of this week. The Apache Junction Area Chamber of Commerce in the city, of course, are partnering on Level Up Your Business Seminar Series. This one is going to be all about trying to get capital for your business. So these are folks who are looking to be entrepreneurs. How do you go about trying to get your idea started? They will be holding that seminar on Thursday morning at 8 o'clock over at the CAC Apache Junction campus. All the info, not only on the Chamber of Commerce site, but always on the city's homepage as well. Just a little over a week and a half away from the deadline for folks who want to apply for boards and commissions. These are folks who would like to give back to our community, who would like to serve on one of our many boards and commissions. The deadline is September the 15th at 5 p.m. And we will be looking at those applications, and then next month in October, the City Council will interview the applicants and appoint accordingly to our boards and commissions. So that's your chance to give back to your community and serve Apache Junction. A couple other things still coming this weekend. We have one more dive-in movie that's over, of course, at Superstition Shadows Aquatic Center. It's still one of the many events going on in the month of September as things start to ramp up for both parks and libraries. And again, I always tell everybody, just make sure you go to either the homepage or sign up for our newsletter. All of that information is there every week that we try to update you on things going on around the city, apachejunction.az.gov/newsletter. And that's your update for September the 5th, 2023.
Thank you. Public hearings. Items number 8 and 9 are related to the same subject matter. After hearing staff's presentation, I will combine the public hearings, but we will have separate motions for each one. 8 and 9 presentations to discuss and consideration of ordinance number 1537 and resolution number 23-19, parking, loading, and circulation regulation. Nicholas?
Thank you, Your Honor. As Ordinance 1537 comprises the text amendment of the Article 1.7 parking regulations, it covers all of the parking-related matters. So both Erica and I have prepared a brief presentation for our respective portions. As a brief review, both the City Council and Planning and Zoning Commission determined that there was a need to address some deficiencies within the parking code of the zoning ordinance. And so in December of last year, staff was directed to research the city's parking situation and provide recommendations for a text amendment based on our needs and the best practices for parking standards. After many meetings of discussion, presentation, and research, the Planning and Zoning Commission reached a consensus, and staff then prepared a final draft and presented it to the City Council. The adjustments found in our recommendation are regarding guest parking, clarifications to the Americans with Disabilities Act accessible parking requirements and how they applied to our parking standards, motorcycle parking, bicycle parking, and electrical vehicle charging spaces and parking, with the recommendations as noted. As there have been no further questions noted or calls for adjustment by the City Council for this text, staff recommends the approval of the drafted code language contained within Ordinance Number 1537 and Resolution 2319 as presented. If there are no other questions, Erica will provide her presentation regarding the code segment for recreational vehicle parking. But I'm here if there's any more regarding this matter.
Any questions? Nope. Don't see any.
All right.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. This presentation is to discuss a proposed text amendment for Article 1-7, Parking, Loading, and Circulation Regulations. Okay, there we go. There have been a lot of discussion about this proposal, and it has been through several iterations. We have taken the concerns of the public, the Planning and Zoning Commission, and this council to come up with language that should satisfy everyone's concerns. So we met with the experts. We visited 2 MVD offices and an RV dealership. And what we have learned is that the MVD and the industry uses the term recreational vehicle to categorize 2 different types of vehicles, and that's motorized vehicles and non-motorized vehicles. And the MVD did clarify that they use motorhomes and trailers. Okay. Because of that, staff has expanded the definition of RVs and are considering the following: conventional travel trailers, fifth-wheel travel trailers, and travel trailers with expandable ends, folding camping trailers, teardrop trailers, motorhomes, Class A, Class B, Class C, and camper vans, horse trailers with living quarters, and motorized and non-motorized toy haulers. So as a reminder, the city currently allows only 1 unoccupied recreational vehicle or 1 large truck less than 24,000 pounds empty weight on the side or the rear of the main dwelling, or in a completely enclosed garage. Staff recommends on single-family residential lots with a minimum of 1 acre gross shall be able to store one of the following. So option 1 is 2 unoccupied recreational vehicles. And option 2 would be 1 unoccupied recreational vehicle and 1 large truck, less than 24,000 pounds empty weight. All other residential lots less than 1 gross acre will be limited to the storage of 1 unoccupied recreational vehicle or 1 large truck vehicle. Because we are expanding the definitions, staff will be back in a few months to recommend modifications to Article 1-17. And with that, staff would like to thank this council for your direction and your guidance, and we encourage council to make a motion for adoption for these text code changes.
Do we have any questions? Daryl, do you have any questions?
I have no questions.
Okay. All right, this is a public hearing. Does anyone wish to speak on this? Yes.
I just have a question. On campus or,
Name and address?
oh, Donna, Apache Junction resident. Now, when you have a camper or even like a small camper or a teardrop, is there a specific lot size you can have, or it doesn't matter?
Lot size?
Well, that'd be a staff question, I think.
No, okay. Staff?
Yes, you can get up.
Sydney,
Sorry, Mr. Mayor. You
Okay.
can get up to speak.
Mayor, members of the council, so there is not a specific lot size, so there's a location requirement. So as long as it's at the side or behind the front facade of the home, a person could store that if they have the ability of the room in their lot to do so.
Okay.
The size requirement only applies to 2 RVs or more, and that is the acre requirement.
Okay.
Try and keep it short. George Schroeder, 2444 West Virginia Street. We can't and don't want to keep track of the idiots that are swatting on other people's property right now. What do you mean? They don't give a horse's hair about what you say. Okay, so we got 190 or 290 North Pinion. Had them in court 3 times. This is one of the times when we actually got them to court. Other than that, they don't care. So what did they do? They heard this ordinance was coming up. They don't just have a side, fifth wheel on their side, right in front of that, right right away. They've got another motorhome just recently parked there. They're living in it. It's all hooked up. Code's been by there several times. Really? Okay, your problem is not with the ordinances as such tonight. In general, it is because they're goofed up. And they're so assorted that the only people gaining from this is the city managers, Mr. Busby's participant in this church, and DS.
Stop.
They're the only ones benefiting.
Okay, stop.
They're in my community breaking the law, and nobody cares.
Stop.
Why don't you come out to my, why don't you come out? Come out to
Stop.
my neighborhood.
Stop. Any discussion among, or anyone else wants to speak? Andrew?
Andre.
Andrea?
Andre Meat,
Andrea.
1327 South Bel Air here in AJ. Want to thank you for clarifying that camper truck question. Going to help me out a lot. Other than that, it's great you have, you reduce the size that you need to have for a lot and everything like that. There's a lot of people that have that, the smaller lot they have, and everybody seems to have 2 trailers these days. And so I'm just, thank you for doing that. And, as far as ordinances and everything like that, people living them and all that, that's an enforcement issue. And, that has to be handled by the ones that enforce it. Now, when they get it done, I guess is when they get it done. I know there's a lot going on in this town as far as, people needing a place to live. And, I know that there's some compassion showed for that, and that actually needs to happen in some ways. And so, they're, going to have to be a balance, if somebody's just like renting these places out and, they got trailers and stuff like that, I can't see that. But, somebody's in dire need of a place to stay, I could get by letting them stay until they get on their feet, as long as, there's a actual thing going on where they're doing that. So that's all I got to say.
Representatives and staff. Jane Brown, Val Vista Road, Apache Junction.
I believe that when we start limiting what people can do with their own property, we're going down a road of, how to say it, nobody likes Los Angeles. Los Angeles has lots of restrictions, and everyone says, we don't want California here. But now when you start restricting what people can do, I mean, what's next? And a lot of people have a work trailer, they have a residential trailer for their trips, they have a horse trailer. These are not major issues in life. Getting our kids to pass 4th grade is a major issue. Whether or not somebody has 2 or 3 or 4 wheeled vehicles that are properly licensed is not an issue, and we should not restrict a person's right to have vehicles on their property. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Hey, Matt. Daryl's dropped. Yeah.
What?
Daryl.
I'm sorry, Councilmember Cross is
Oh, okay.
online, and his connection dropped.
Oh,
We could just have a minute.
all right. He hung up on us this time, huh?
Yeah.
Hello?
Okay, there you are, back now.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to make one comment concerning this. This restriction is only on the number of, well, I'll say RVs and trailers. There's no, the trailers are livable trailers. They're not flatbeds, they're not work trailers and things along this line. Anyone else have any comments they want?
Mayor, we're expanding what they're allowed to have
Yeah.
by doing this.
Okay. We now close the public hearing and ask for a motion of the ordinance number 1537.
Your Honor,
Yes.
I move that the ordinance number 1537 be read by title only, and the reading of the entire ordinance be waived.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Roll call.
Councilmember Nesser?
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson?
Yes.
Councilmember Cross?
Yes?
Councilmember Heck?
Yes.
Councilmember Soller?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Schroeder?
Yes.
Mayor Wilson?
Yes.
All right. Ordinance number 1537, an ordinance of the Mayor and City Council of the City of Apache Junction, Arizona, amending Apache Junction City Code, Volume 2, Land Development Code, Chapter 1, Zoning Ordinance, by repealing and replacing portions of Article 1-7, Parking, Loading, and Circulation Regulations, and by adopting by reference that certain document entitled 2023 Amendments to the Apache Junction City Code, Volume 2, Land Development Code, Chapter 1, Zoning Ordinance, Article 1-7, Parking, Loading, and Circulation Regulations, repealing any conflicting provisions, providing for severability, and providing for penalties.
Okay. Do I have a motion to adopt resolution number 2319?
A motion to adopt the ordinance as read.
Okay.
Yes, Your
motion
Honor.
to- Yes.
I move ordinance 1537 as read by the city clerk be approved.
Okay.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Roll call.
Councilmember Cross?
Yes?
Councilmember Soller?
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson?
Yes.
Councilmember Heck?
Yes.
Councilmember Nesser?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Schroeder?
Yes.
Mayor Wilson?
Yes.
Ordinance passes unanimously.
Okay, now I will ask for a motion for resolution number 2319.
Your Honor,
Yes.
I move that resolution number 23-19, resolution of the Mayor and City Council of the City of Apache Junction, Arizona, declaring as a public record that certain document filed with the City Clerk entitled 2023 Amendments to the Apache Junction City Code, Volume 2, Land Development Code, Chapter 1, Zoning Ordinance, Article 1-7, Parking, Loading, and Circulation Regulations, repealing any conflicting provisions and providing for severability be approved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Roll call.
Councilmember Soller?
Yes.
Councilmember Nesser?
Yes.
Councilmember Cross?
Yes?
Councilmember Johnson?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Schroeder?
Yes.
Councilmember Heck?
Yes.
Mayor Wilson?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Okay, we don't have any old business, new business. Presentation and discussion of P 22-6-SD for commercial condominium subdivisions. Nicholas, again.
Yes, thank you, Mayor Wilson. So tonight I just have a brief informational presentation regarding the proposed Gold Drive development, just to update the City Council on the case, since it has been about 10 years since the prior approvals. Just let me give a brief preview of the site just before I go into the background of it. So we're just talking about this parcel located at the southeast corner of Apache Trail and Gold Drive. So in 2013, Superstition Springs Holdings, LLC, which is the current property owner, requested a rezoning of the southeast corner of Apache Trail and Gold Drive for the purpose of developing a medical and office complex, which was approved in the Plan Development Ordinance number 1396. The site was then developed with infrastructure, driveways, pad sites, and one building was constructed. But the property owner has now applied for a commercial condominium plat so that the property may be subdivided and that suites of future buildings may be sold individually to different occupants. The application itself has been found to be compliant with all the requirements of the zoning ordinance and the Plan Development Ordinance 1396. So again, we can see from the aerial imagery of the site, a lot of the infrastructure has already been in place. You can already see where the pad sites of the buildings that are proposed and planned in the future will be. Here's the relevant portion of the final plat that depicts the property. Here's a quick zoom in. So as you can see, there are the 11 suites. Each of them would be able to be individually owned under this condominium plat. So with that, staff recommends the approval of final plat case P22-6SD, a final plat proposed to create the commercial condominium subdivision known as Gold Drive Development, as presented in the staff report. This case will be back in 2 weeks for consideration of approval, but if you have any questions now, I am happy to answer.
Yes.
Just curious, Nick, why is it called a condominium subdivision when it's commercial?
So there are subdivisions that aren't condominium subdivisions, and then when it is a condominium subdivision, it changes some of the ownership details regarding the lot itself and the land underneath. And the condominium subdivision is specific, like if you're owning what's above the land, like a building itself or a suite. So technically, the underground land and the ownership behind that in a regular subdivision that's not condominium is all goes with the land and with the deed. A condominium is when you're dividing a building or something like that.
Okay, thanks.
I have a question. So can you go back to the drawing for a minute?
This one?
Yes. So these are all going to be individually owned.
That's correct.
And where is all the parking for, I mean, I would assume that whatever kind of office you're having, I mean, is that going to be enough parking for that many individual either offices or businesses, unless everybody's only going to be an office of one with no guest?
So the staff has currently analyzed and assessed the current parking, and with the proposed square footage of buildings on the preliminary plans that we've seen, it checks out and it meets the code minimums.
The new code minimums?
The new code minimums don't specifically apply to like commercial office complexes.
Mm-hmm.
So guest parking wouldn't influence a commercial subdivision. But the preliminary plans, as far as that is concerned, have already been approved and checked.
Your Honor.
Yes.
Nick, so the current building there is, I think, essentially a medical office, I believe.
That's right.
So then this new office condominium, will that be medical, or could that be if an individual buyer doesn't have to be a medical office then, I assume?
It's generally proposed for that. It doesn't have to strictly be medical offices. However, the plan development ordinance was catered to those sorts of uses on this lot, and the applicant himself has expressed that that's the desire. Okay. But generally, employment office mostly catered to medical. It's not necessarily strictly only absolutely medical, but generally that kind of use.
And then there is still one pad that is not going to be developed, am I correct with that?
So if you may be referring to the commercial site that is on the corner of Apache Trail and Gold Drive, that was part of the original rezoning ordinance. However, it is not part of this. That is still reserved for a general commercial, whether it's a restaurant or something like
okay,
that.
all right.
So that part is still excluded from this, even though it was part of the original rezoning. And
That's where I was confused, because I thought that
Yeah, this is.
it'd be a hard time to get another pad in that, within that blue outlined area,
Right.
but, yeah, there's that large area for the commercial.
I don't know what this is.
Okay, thank you.
No, sir.
Okay. Whoa,
Hello.
disappeared. All right, any other questions? All right, there's no motion right now, it's presentation only, correct?
yes.
Okay, presentation, discussion, and procurement of portable and mobile radios for the police department. Chief Pulley?
Good evening, Mayor, members of council. Let's see if I can pull this up. Joe, can you help me? Or, no? I got good help.
Get your tech guys.
Yeah. So this one, we're going to be talking about radios, so we'll get that pulled up here. And thank you. So we're looking to upgrade all of our radios, our police radios, to these new N70 portable radios, as well as some new vehicle radios. What these are the newest radios. Our current radios right now are about 15 years old that every one of our officers are currently using. This is the vehicle radio, which is the APXN 6500. And like it says, we purchased everything back in 2007 and 2009, so we're looking at several years that have gone by. One of the things with this new technology is, one of the things that we do in the policing and everywhere, we always evaluate technology. We look at what's currently being used now and what's going to be used in the future. The radios we currently have an expiration date on them where they will not be able to be reprogrammed. So this is an absolutely necessary thing for the safety of our officers, for them to have this new radio that we're going to be getting. It works a lot like a cell phone. It's going to have a lot of features in it. The connectivity is incredible. The mapping features, where now when an officer gets out of the vehicle, we'll be able to see exactly where the officer is going. It'll follow the officer by GPS in the radio, just like it would in a cell phone. These radios, we're going to be purchasing 101 handheld radios for the current officers to replace all the old ones, as well as for expected growth of the department as well. We also are requesting to get 24 vehicle radios as well for replacement, and also new vehicles that will be coming in. And how this is going to be funded is the ask is $700,000 is going to be coming from CIP general funds, which is planned project funds that were already approved for by the mayor and council for this fiscal year, and $143,000 of that is going to be from a refunded radios that we did not use for radio consoles last year, and that's from ARPA funding. So the mobile radios are a total of $843,000. And then the vehicle radios is an additional $175,000 for a total of $1,011,860. And do any of you have any questions?
And this item is not for approval tonight, by the way. It'll come back.
I do have a question, though.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if it's so much for you, Chief, as it is for Brian, but does this affect anyway? Don't we have an IGA with Gilbert? They gave us a bunch of radios in exchange for the shooting range. This was a couple years back.
I don't remember that. We'd have to look that up. The shooting range?
So they had given us a bunch of handheld radios, and in return, they were coming on to...
If I may,
Yes.
if I may, Chief.
Absolutely.
Because I don't think you were here,
Yeah,
right?
he wasn't here.
I was not.
Yes. I believe those are the older radios that Gilbert had, and they were ordering new ones.
Yeah.
So we took on ones that are
newer than the ones that you have.
Correct.
But they also will have a termination date, and they cannot be reprogrammed also. They are not the new brand.
Yeah, kind of to that point, a lot of the every agency is going to have to go to this new radio at some
Oh,
point.
sir, yeah, I have no doubt that the new radios are probably absolutely the way to go. I'm just wondering how does that affect that IGA with Gilbert? Are they no longer going to be shooting at our range since that whole radio thing is now over with?
Oh, I don't think that is connected to that. I think Gilbert, I think they get shooting range rights through just agency cooperation, if I'm mistaken. Am I
Correct,
mistaken
that's
on that?
correct. Yeah, we have several agencies that are using our range, and one of them is Gilbert on occasion. But they actually have a really nice indoor range that they use.
I don't recall the connection to the range, but maybe you're remembering something. We'll check and verify that and get
Yeah,
back.
that's kind of
That's
a
where you're,
weird plug in the socket to put
Yeah.
together if I didn't remember it, you know what I
Okay.
mean? So,
yeah, we'll look at
pretty sure it
that.
happened.
And then we need another minute, Daryl. We lost connection, so. But we'll look at that tomorrow, Matt. Let's get that IG-8 out from that and get that to
Hello.
Okay, you're back again.
I missed a lot.
All right, anyone else have any other questions concerning the portable radios?
Yes, I do.
Okay,
So, I unfortunately didn't get to hear any of the other comments, but question I had is after the 1-year promos are over, what would the cost be for annual service? I have several questions.
So during that first year, it is a testing phase for us. That is something that if it really depends on the features. The mapping feature is one of the features that comes included. If we decide that that's something that's going to be added into the cost, another feature will be, they have a kind of a voice app type thing that we can use. And there's several features that we got to see which one is going to be exactly what we want for our officers and that's going to work best for us. So I don't have that exact cost right now.
Okay. And are there any other companies providing similar type radios in the market, or is Motorola pretty much the go-to company?
Yes, Motorola is kind of one of the only companies out there. There are other ones we've tested, but Motorola, for where we are and where our agency is right now, it is the only one that works for us right now.
Okay. And then I noticed that does part of it run through Verizon network?
Yes, or it could either be Verizon or FirstNet, which is AT&T.
Okay, because I do have a lot of concerns with Verizon. Their 5G network was designed for mainly outdoor use, and it tends to degrade substantially once you get into buildings, especially bigger buildings. And I would be concerned for our officers' safety if they're in the middle of a call, they get into a building and service drops.
I understand what you're saying. The good thing about the radio is it works on the radio network. The LTE or the cell phone capability is a backup for the actual radio on the way it works.
Okay, good to know. The 27% sales price, is that just, they were gracious, or they're currently running a 27% sale and not a 30% sale? 30% off?
I don't have that answer for you.
Okay. And the last question I had, and it's kind of more towards a question for Joel. I'm sure you've read through the entire agreement and the terms of the agreement, and I'm just, in your opinion, is it a fair contract, and are there any red flags that need to be considered?
Councilman Cross, to ask an attorney whether it's a fair agreement.
There you go.
Here's what I will say. We have spent a lot of time on this agreement. Motorola is a typical software company, and they want things their way, and we did negotiate on quite a bit. And the chief had some business items that had to be decided, and he made those decisions. And this is the best deal for the city at this time.
Okay. I just, you know, I fully support our police force, and I don't want any of the police employees to end up on a software failure end and possibly have their lives jeopardized. And, you know, I want the best for our guys.
And we did put a go-live date in the agreement. It's a ways out, but at least we have a date in case something happened and we had to terminate the agreement. Because we've had past ones where we didn't have a go-live date and we couldn't terminate the agreement. City got stung on that in 2000, I remember that, by the tune of $800,000. That was a lot of money back then, as it is now.
Very good. Thank you, Joel. And thank you, Chief Pooley.
Thank you, sir.
Anyone else? Yeah, and again, this is just for presentation only right now.
Yeah, we're proposing to bring it back on consent agenda on the next meeting unless the council would like to hear it again.
Okay. Presentation to consideration for proclamation or procurement of, police shooting range cover. Chief Pooley again.
Thank you, Mayor and members of council. Mike Pooley, Chief of Police here in Apache Junction Police Department. This is something exciting for us that we've brought to you. Assistant Chief John talked about it last time, but we have a firearms range and off a baseline in Idaho, which we're very proud of. One of the things that we do is that with having our own range, it gives us the ability to train our officers outdoors on live fire with rifles, handguns, and any other type of ammunition that we have to use out there. What it also provides us is the ability to do it year-round because it's outdoors, but at the same time, in the summertime, it limits us with a lot of the time that we're able to spend out there. What we're looking for is a covered structure that's movable, and what we want to do is go with a company called Covershot. If you're a golfer, you may have seen something similar where they have a canopy with a structure that provides plenty of shade. The structure that we're looking at is going to cover 120 feet in width, and our range ranges from 250 yards is what we can shoot up to, all the way up to point blank, and we use those depending on the weapon we're using as well as the assignment you're in. For example, with snipers, we have snipers that go out there and use our range because it's got a good distance and the ability to do some real world applications. So this structure is a canopy structure. It's got the heavy-duty galvanized steel frame with stainless steel hardware. The canopy material is a heavyweight, waterproof PVC-coated fabric that's UV and fire resistant. It's guaranteed to last for a very, very long time. It's motorized, and it is able to move off of a generator. It's going to have electricity as well as with lights and fans for the summertime months, for the summer months. It's 140 foot. Its depth is 20 feet, height, it's all there. It basically allows us to have 21 people under shade at all times during the summer, winter, fall, and spring. This is what it looks like. It's something that we know can be moved from, our average qualification starts at, well, it was 25 yards, now it's 15 yards. But at 25 yards, we can shoot a handgun, and as our officers move up to each station, it allows the ability for the shade structure to follow the officers, so they're in the shade during that time. It provides extra shelter during the monsoons as well. And although we like to train in the real world elements, this helps us to keep our officers a little bit safer. This is what it's going to look like out on the range. We'll have some logos on it. Here's some more pictures, and you can see it does give quite a bit of room in the back for officers to move around and the shade it provides. So we've been asked about also, what would it cost for a permanent structure? We've called several companies to look to see what it would cost with the amount of steel and the frames that it would take. It would be significant in price, up to about $1 million, if not more. And at something like that, we would say, hey, let's just build an indoor range, which would provide shelter from the 25-yard all the way the whole time. We believe this will provide us what we need for our officers and for our training, and it's something that we're hoping that you will support and approve tonight for us for purchase.
Your Honor,
Yes.
even if funding wasn't an issue, you would prefer the portable one?
Correct. Well, honestly, we would prefer an indoor range.
Yeah.
But we know that's not an option right now. So yes, this is the best option for us.
Mayor? Yes. Indoor range, 15 yards. You're talking snipers, 250 yards. You can use this all the way up and back, so that's your best bang for your buck. Plus, I agree, we need something like this just for sun protection. Cancer is a big problem. Skin cancer is a big problem out here, I personally know. So this will help keep our officers from getting sun cancer or overexposure to sun, which leads to sun cancer. And again, an indoor range is extremely expensive, and there's a lot of environmental issues with it, with the fumes and the lead.
Yeah.
So I think this is the way to go.
Thank you, Councilmember.
Anyone else? Daryl, do you have any questions?
No, I do have a comment. I agree with Councilmember Solar. The other thoughts on this is, real world training activities need to have a lot of outside shooting practice, because that's where we live and we're in the desert, and yeah, we definitely need to keep our officers safe from being exposed to sunlight and the effects of cancer. So just had a friend diagnosed with skin cancer the other day, and that's the life we live in right now. So thank you.
Okay. Since there's no further discussion, can I have a motion for this item?
Mayor?
Yes.
I move that the purchase of a retractable and movable canopy for the police shooting range made by Covershots in the amount not to exceed $139,079.05, which includes 10% contingency, be approved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Roll call.
Councilmember Heck?
Yes.
Councilmember Cross?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Schroeder?
Yes.
Councilmember Nesser?
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson?
Yes.
Councilmember Solar?
Yes.
Mayor Wilson?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Presentation, discussion of proposed upgrade of video security system for city facilities. Doug?
Mayor, council members, I'm Doug Worthkin, the IT Director of City of Apache Junction. I'm going to talk about the current Apache Junction relies on Milestone to manage their video cameras and video surveillance. This is for their properties within their campuses at City Hall here, Water Campus, Library, and those type of properties, including the pool and the different entities that we have employees at, and then we also have citizens at as well. Milestone does offer some value, but has limitations in comparisons to new next generation video solutions. Employees are currently spending a lot of time to be able to go back and search capabilities to respond to legal requests or incidents, video coverage, going back and trying to find capture the videos that could be back up as 14 days, and trying to find those is a little cumbersome with this system. Employees, also our current system is difficult to manage and it's segregated. It's broken into 4 or 5 different parts, and including the library has its own system as well. So the city has about 90 cameras currently, and the library is about 70 of those. And we're proposing to upgrade some of the older ones and also add 5 additional cameras as well. And after reviewing the video market, we determined that Motorola's solution is highly functional, cost-effective, called the Vigilant Alta, that exceeds our current capabilities. When I started this process, they were called Ava, and Motorola bought them out, and now they're making that part of their umbrella of a Vigilant Ultra and Alta camera systems. So Alta, the one that we're going for, is in the cloud solution, because we have re-geared our network to be able to do more cloud applications and so forth. So this kind of goes in alignment with what we've been building the last couple of years. While there are other technologies, cost, proprietary nature means they are suitable to meet the needs of the open and highly scalable to meet future demands. There are some camera systems out there that won't work with your existing cameras. So we're only going to replace about 20% of our cameras, and we're using a 3-year subscription for this. And that's why it's $249,000 with a FY24 CI approved project that we had going into this funding for this year. Was already approved by council. And then this is the product in which we had the police, park rangers, libraries, and also the water is going to be on the system as well. So dispatch will be able to view these cameras for all our properties in the city, all the way down to the new water campus, and also the SCADA system as well. And the next slide. Thank you.
Okay,
So some of the features here are rapid search, reducing time, so they'll be able to break out by the different lines of what are people and what are also vehicles, and be able to go to those certain times and be able to search exactly what you're looking for. The video is also shareable through a web link instead of just using an MP4, meaning time to share the footage impacts response efforts. Footage can be reviewed from any device, and real-time awareness, smart presence of people and vehicles. This will allow responders to concentrate efforts where the people are in real time. So there's analytics with this, and there's also sound capturing with these cameras as well. And it also takes advantage of our access cameras that we've already invested in that are digitalized, and will actually allow them to view it from this application as well. Alerting of gun shops and glass broken for immediate response. That's the sound barrier. And then also automatic software updates, reducing the risk of cyber attacks. And this will integrate with radios that were proposed earlier. And so that's the proposal for this. It's $249,000. That includes a 3-year subscription, allows us to replace 20% of our cameras that are what we call analog and over 10 years old. And that will start at the City Hall, and then also encompass the entire city into one system and streamline it. If you have any questions.
Yes.
So Doug, the 26 cameras that we're replacing, they're the analog ones.
Yeah, there's all 26 in the City Hall actually are the ones that need to be replaced. These are the ones that we haven't replaced yet. Last year we did a project at police where we replaced 16 of their analog cameras.
Okay, so the other 130 some, are they digital? They're more updated, or they're more high-tech?
So we'll have 165 cameras. They will all be digital, right? And the ones that are going to be the 20% that are going to be the new Alta ones, those ones are going to have analytics and also sound capturing. So we're going to put those at the entry and exits of things so we can be able to track things moving in and out. So we'll be repurposing some cameras where it makes sense on entry and exit, and that's part of this proposal as well. And then as time goes by and we go through life cycle management with our cameras, we'll then put in the new cameras. And in 3 years' time, so the Space Committee, we could be building a new police building, so this will actually get us in a direction that heads that. That was something that was important to our public safety.
But all these cameras we have will integrate with the new.
Yeah, that's the reason why we want this. We didn't want to, and that's why the cost for a 3-year subscription isn't as high as you would think it would be. Cameras are very expensive, and this allows us to take the investment that the city already made and be able to move it into something a little more manageable.
Thank you.
Mayor, and this will help with like a real-time crime, so if something's happening, we'll be able to hear it, see it, and police can automatically respond to it.
Yes, sir, we're heading in that direction.
That's what we need to do.
How many total cameras?
So believe it or not, there are 70 cameras at our library right now that they have in there, and we only have 90 cameras for the city. And that's at the pool, here at City Hall, at the police, and the different city campuses here, and also at Public Works and at a few of our parks.
And who's watching all of these cameras?
Dispatch. Dispatch is the primary one, but we also, at the library, they have their own security officer that watches that at the front.
So TJ, that's part of his job?
TJ, yeah, he watches 70
He
cameras.
oh, okay.
Yeah, we
Okay.
have two now, TJ and his.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, there is two now,
Mhm.
yes.
So all of these cameras are being watched throughout the day?
There's also video viewers, so if there's people that are working here late at night, some of them have that in City Hall where they can view the cameras before they go outside for safety.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
And I also just have an input from Liz Legenbach, park rangers and center staff, multi-gen center staff also monitor, so thank you, Liz, for that input. Want to make sure you're getting your answer fully answered there. Or
Yeah,
question there.
within the MGC Center as well. We're watching the game rooms and things like that.
Your Honor.
Yes?
So these cameras, do these cameras have facial recognition capabilities? And if so, will that technology be implemented in the future?
So the new Alta cameras, yes, they do. And Avigilon is also a leader. Is it Avigilon Unity? Is that the name of the on-prem one, Chief? Yeah. So they have what they call an on-campus one where you can build your own servers, and it can be more robust. So at some point, we could grow into a bigger system, more reliable when we have new buildings and new things that we need to do for a crime center. This is in alignment with that. Glendale is on this system, and they did a crime center as well, but they started out, and they got 10 times more cameras than we do, and the city of Mesa is in the same direction as well. And what it does is it saves police officers' lives because of the safety of watching in the city. This is just a start in that. Nowhere are we anywhere near a crime center, but this is the start of getting towards that direction.
And, Your Honor, one other thing. I did, looking over the contract, the breakout of prices, and I see a lot of pricing for especially some of the smaller materials, and it's very much in line and reasonable as far as the smaller pricing parts. I don't know about the cameras themselves, but like the conduits and the connectors and the mounting brackets and stuff are all right at market price.
Yes, Councilman Cross. So what we're doing there is the existing cameras we have to make them into cloud components because they're going to be looking in the cloud. So a lot of those cloud components there are taking the cameras off of our servers and actually putting them to where they can be accessible within the cloud. So that's the approach there, and that's where the equipment and the one-time cost is. Cameras are typically between 7 to 10 years in life cycle.
Okay, so this is just for our information? Thank
No,
you.
sir. No, sir. This is a CIP. I'm looking to be approved for funding.
It'll be for approval on the next city council meeting.
No, city-
on
yeah,
consent
city council,
agenda.
okay.
We'll get that prepared yet, Doug.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Doug.
All right, okay, do we have any council direction to staff? Don't see any. Okay, now's the time to go to our call to the public. I'd like to remind everyone, the call to the public is a courtesy and not required by law. It's a time for public expression, requests, communications, comments, and suggestions. The request to speak forms must have been completed and handed out to the city clerk before the end of the city manager's report. All issues shall be presented in a professional manner without personal attacks. Under the open meeting law, council cannot engage in discussion of an issue presented, but may respond to criticism and may direct staff to follow up with the speaker directly or place the matter on future agenda for council discussions. Please state your name and address, and you will have 3 minutes with a 1-minute warning. And I got a couple here. Edward Oley.
Edward Oley.
Yep.
2364 North Apache Drive. We just moved there last year, and it's right on Lost Dutchman in Idaho, and at that point is where the guardrail stops, and then our yard continues, and at that, it's like there's a lot of speeders, there's a lot of, like our property goes right up to the berm of that hill right there, and that's like our front patio. Now, a lot of speeders go through there. There's a lot of noise pollution, a lot of people parking right in front of our house. It's just something I wanted to address. I wasn't planning on talking or coming up here and talking about it right now. I'm kind of nervous, but it's something that me and my girl have been, like, in the last year, really concerned about. People walking up and down, and we were living at cul-de-sac right there. And we talked to Chip about it over the phone, and he put a temporary fence there, but people still, there's a dead end. People still go up and through there. They cut the fence. The fence is like not a good fence. It's just like barbed wire. And we want to know if we can do something with that guardrail and extend it out where it could go down farther, because we don't have no access right there. It's the only one neighbor. I have pictures of our property and how it is, but it's just a complaint that we've been looking.
Can we get his address?
Yeah.
And the speeders is a big thing, because there's motorcycles that hit that Idaho and Lost Dutchman, and by the time they are at our house, they're in third gear and they're rodding through there. I mean, they're hitting over 100 miles an hour before they hit, and there's no cops to, like, see that. I'm not saying there's no cops there, but it would be nice to see a little bit more patrol there.
Give me your address again.
2364 North Apache Drive.
Okay, I'll put you in.
Got it.
All right. Thank you. Donna Carr.
Donna Carr, Apache Junction resident. I wanted to say is for one, is when you let something into Apache Junction, whether it be the fact that I think we have Fry's, Walmart, Ross, and Goodwill. If you want more revenue to come in, you need better stuff for people to want to go to. TGI Fridays, Applebee's, a Dude Ranch that you had talked about a while back. The father of my kids, he was the town planner of Payson for 17 years. Then he was the town planner of Globe for over another 10 years. And once you allow certain things to come in, it's hard to get rid of. You look at the center of Apache Junction, Idaho Road. It's all mobile home parks, all the way from the freeway pretty much. We need something better here and not just garbage. And I guess I get tired of hearing a lot about homeless people. I've been there, I've done that. When I was young, me, my mom, and my 6-month-old daughter were homeless. I lived in a 68 International pickup truck for 3 months. Guess what? I picked myself up, dusted myself off, and started my own business. It takes, when I think about homeless, 90% of them are drug people. And Fountain Hills is doing something about it. They're getting an ordinance to try to keep people from camping in public areas, like on the side of the street, like crackheads do. I've seen them all over the place. I see new ones coming all the time. We need to do something about getting rid of the drug people. And I think about the stuff ever since COVID started, we got a brand-new SWAT vehicle. Police department was remodeled. I'm not saying that we don't need all this stuff. I'm not. But, and Arizona, I think, is now number 9 on the worst states to live in. And crime has risen by 30-something%. You know, keep on inviting more people in, and we're gonna keep on, I mean, the 3-story, 128-bed, yeah, I'm gonna hop on that one because it's over by my house. 128-bed detox, drug and alcohol place. We want crackheads out, but let's invite more in. I mean, I just get to the point where I see too much garbage and not enough good stuff. We need more good stuff. We need stuff that's actually going to get people to want to come here. Apache Junction, perfect location. What, we're 20 minutes from the lake, 15 minutes from the river, 10 minutes from hiking. And yet, we're more like Casa Grande in the way that we're acting as far as all the garbage we put in, instead of being like Scottsdale.
Okay, thank you. George Schroeder.
You want civil. George Schroeder, 244 West Virginia Street. Civil, really. You can't say somebody's name because it's a fact that they are a problem. We'll address that later. So the mentality in Apache Junction has always been, and I'm only using it in reference to what you said, crackheads want what the snowbirds want. The snowbirds want what the crackheads got. They're one and the same. They all break the law. They're all doing it. But they all point the finger at each other. Oh, whoa, that's not right. That's not right. Nobody wants to piss them off, except me, which I'm very good at. Where's it end? We got to have more people die because cops got to go and shoot somebody. They don't want to. They don't want to do that. They want code to do their job, which they've never done. And when they do it, we got judge and counsel. Oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Happens every day. Okay, so we're getting in the money situation that our 2 managers have put us in, and it's getting worse. I'm not saying the police doesn't deserve what they're asking for, and yeah, we've been behind for years. So they're playing catch up. Great. But all the money, $1 million here, $1 million there, $500,000 there, $841,000 for a lighting system. Talk about police in Apache Junction. Wow. We're going to need this roof tax. By the time it gets approved, which you can't say no to, because you can't say no to anything that these 2 want, we're going to be in debt that we don't have a choice but to have a roof tax. And I urged you before, be careful about passing this, because once you do that, they're just going to tax us and bond us into oblivion, and we'll be nothing but a district, as she said, isolated, we'll be nothing but a district of Mesa. Be careful.
Mr. Meek. Mr. Meek.
Andre Meek, 1327 South Bel Air, AJ. Mayor, Council. A little while ago, I saw something where Mesa was going to reduce the width of Apache Trail down to 2 lanes, put in sidewalks, bike lanes from Meridian all the way to Sossaman. And, you know, I had questions about that, just where our city's gonna come in. Are we going to do the same to ours, or are we just gonna kind of like have 3 lanes and then boom, we're into 2, and, you know, we're riding on dirt until you get to Meridian, then you can ride your bicycle. You know, I'd love to see some improvements like that there, you know, continuing. It would make it, you know, much nicer, you know, but of course it costs money. And that's, you know, always the question there is where the money would come from to do that. But it's something that, you know, if they're gonna do it, and that, you know, that's a large part of Apache Trail. And, you know, what it does there is, you know, they're gonna do all that improvement, but then AJ looks 20 years behind, and like a previous person said, you know, some improvements on AJ to make businesses come in and everything like that. You know, it would be nice to consider just continuing that. And, you know, if they're gonna do it, you know, maybe we should really look into it too, just to keep the image up and keep us moving forward in that respect. Pretty much all I got. Thank you.
Okay, any comments from the council? No, I don't have a request. Okay. All right, I'm sorry. Bryant?
Yes.
Can we get together with Mr. Oley?
Yeah, certainly. We'll get PD tonight, and then we'll start reviewing the public works part.
Okay. All right, I will adjourn our meeting. Thank you.